outlooks that you can take to show you that if you do the work, it is possible to overcome any fear that comes your way, okay? And hopefully you get a new perspective of what fear truly is. So a little bit about me. My name is Justine Broker. I am a life and business coach. I am also a mom and wife, and we live in Minnesota. I was born and raised in Wisconsin, and we moved here in 2006. So both of my kids were born in Minnesota. They are Minnesota natives. And I also work full-time in cancer research. I am also the founder of the Pineapple Project, which is my closed Facebook group. I love pineapples. They have been such a great reminder for me to stay on the path, because it's not always easy and it always takes time. So if you didn't know this, pineapples actually take 18 months to grow from seed to fruit. So I like to bring the pineapple in as a symbol that we are never done growing. We're never done growing. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and that's okay. So the Pineapple Project is my space where I welcome in any women who are ready to grow and reach their next level of success. I help business owners step into their authenticity and discover their purpose. For the longest time, I stood behind the mask, and the mask of what I thought everyone thought I should be, instead of what I believe to be true for myself. So uncovering that authentic part of yourself is hard. It's hard because we've been told so many times growing up what you should be, what you shouldn't be, what you should say, what you shouldn't say. And so it's a real big challenge for people to be able to show up in their business in a way that feels right to them, especially on social media when it's extremely loud and people are doing things all over the board. So I help my clients step into who they are so that they can run their business with ease and have fun and attract their soul clients. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time, and I wish I knew who said this, because this is how I navigate through fear. If I'm feeling triggered or scared of something, I will tell myself it's okay to be scared, because when we are scared, it means we're about to do something really brave. And what our minds tend to do is they tend to keep us in our little bubble of safety of what we know to be true right now. As we grow and we further develop ourselves, that's new to us. It's a new thing, it's new territory, it's new ground, it's new ideas, it's uncertainty. But instead of allowing fear to deter us from our path and where we're going, it's really important to be able to acknowledge that feeling that you have when fear comes up, because that's usually an indicator that something big is around the corner. And if we allow ourselves to just be comfortable, we will stay exactly where we're at. And that's what we don't want. We want to be uncomfortable so that we can grow and open our minds to new experiences and new beliefs. So that's just my favorite quote. I love to start with that in any talk I do on fear. So there is that. So first, let's break down what fear is. It can show up in a variety of ways, but each one unlocks specific clues that will help you conquer these fears. So you may feel fear if you're creating irrational beliefs for yourself. So I'm just going to use the example of live video, because that's what a lot of my clients deal, a fear they have to overcome in the very beginning is the fear of being seen and going on live video. So you may have an irrational beliefs. So let's say I've never gone live before, and in my mind, I am picturing that I'm going to go on live, share, someone is going to jump on my live video and start calling me stupid and start making fun of me, or maybe I'm picturing that I'm going to get on live and totally lose what I was going to say, or what I forget how to talk. There's so many irrational beliefs that we create for ourselves that keep us in our comfort zone. Another thing that sparks fear is the sense of uncertainty. We like to know. Our minds like to know things. So if you aren't certain what the outcome's going to be, your ego will chime in and say, you don't know how this is going to turn out. You don't know how this is going to turn out. So why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself in this situation? You don't know. You don't know. So that's what our mind will do from time to time if we allow it. We also create distorted expectations. So what that means is we think that we have to show up perfectly. We think we have to show up a certain way. And we are our worst critics. Hands down, we are the ones who judge ourselves the hardest. So a lot of times we hold ourselves up to the highest expectation, and a lot of times it's not even true. It's not even like feasible. For example, I'm home on a Saturday with my kids. So if I'm fearing that I'm going to show up on this training and it's got to be perfect, that's the distorted expectation, right? It's not my life. My clients know that my kids are probably going to pop in from time to time. I'm probably going to mess up with technology at some point. I'm probably going to laugh at myself or fumble my words. I don't create high expectations, or I try not to create the highest expectations for myself because I'm human. And I hope that you do the same. Another thing may be distorted memories. When I was in school, I had mean girls. There were a lot of mean girls in my life. And so as I grew up, I had this belief or this fear that people weren't going to be nice to me, or people were going to make fun of me, or people were going to take what I provide and think it's not good enough. Things come up in our lives and we're triggered and we automatically go back to what we know. Let's say one time I was in speech class and I wrote about something that I was really passionate about, and people later made fun of me about it. So if I'm going to now, present day, show up and share something that may not be the popular opinion, I could have fear that's going to happen again. Does that make sense? I link my present truth to what has happened before because that's what my mind knows. My memories, my experiences, it all links back to what you already know. So we do that without even knowing that we do that. It's like an automatic thing because our subconscious wants to keep us safe and it wants to protect us. But a lot of times it does more harm than good. If we stay in our comfort zone and allow things that happened 20 years ago to influence how we show up today, you can see how that would keep you in this place of not growing. So what fear is, it's false evidence appearing real. When you have a fear of any sort, and we all know there's a lot of fear out there right now, we take what we see and we create stories. We create stories and outcomes based on what we know, and our mind makes us believe that's the truth. That's what we're seeing. So this is really important to realize because we can sit here and overanalyze everything and sit in our own like spiral into the rabbit hole, or we can just think of, okay, this is fear and it's not true. It's not true. I'm creating an outcome or an experience or a reality that hasn't even really shown up to be true for me. Pizza is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So I want to paint. I'm a visual person too. This is how I break down fear in my mind when it comes up. So things that we worry about. So let's go back to live video. Things you worry about. It's like the big pizza that you get served right on your table. It takes up the whole table. It's huge. It's cheesy. It smells delicious. But you look at that pizza and you're like, holy cow, we're not going to eat this all. That's a lot of pizza, right? But the things that actually can happen are like the size of a single piece. And if you go one step further, the things that actually do happen are like a single piece of pepperoni. I know, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? How easy it is to psych ourselves out. So live video, you think all these things are going to happen. The things that actually can happen are, yeah, you might lose track of what you're saying. You might have some trolls jump on your live video. You may stumble your words. You may not have anyone show up. But the things that actually happened are maybe you fumbled in the beginning. And because you went live, maybe you actually impacted someone's life and helped them break through a big struggle that they've been facing for a very long time. So is that piece of pepperoni that happened, was it worth worrying about eating the whole pizza? So speaking of perspective, how we perceive things is the way that we see the world around us. It's what we know to be true right now. So in this graphic, your past is here, and this pink arrow represents the path that you are working towards. You're working towards becoming the highest version of yourself. And when you are on this path of becoming the best version of yourself, these experiences that you have are going to stay with you. They flow in parallel with you. Your experiences never go away. They're always part of your journey. And when you're in your present, you're still going to have your past lingering up here. So what we're seeing right now, we're also seeing the things that we've encountered in the past, the different events, the different trauma, the different experiences, the different things that we were told are true. And it can really influence how you view what's going on right now. And here's a perfect example. I love this. I love illusions. I could sit in like a magic show all day long because I think our minds are the most fascinating things, and what we see, we believe to be true. So when you look at this graphic, the boxes look like two different shades of gray. What we see in front of us are a dark gray box on top, a light gray box below. But if you take your finger and put it where the boxes meet, you will actually see that both are the same color. The boxes are the same color. This is where news and media and other leaders and social media, this is where we can get in this feeling overwhelmed and triggered, and confusion comes because we have so many different messages coming at us, and those messages are from one perspective. It's one perspective. So sometimes you just have to allow your mind to refocus, recenter and refocus, because there's only so much you can take. So I just thought this was a great visual example of how perception works. And if you know the inside trick or the truth, which is that they're both the same color, you just have to put your finger in the middle of them, it changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. So what I encourage you to do is to become a master at rising. And how do I do that? Or how do you do that? First, you challenge yourself mentally and physically. If you want something, but it's scary, and it's your ego saying all of these crazy things can happen to you, challenge yourself and do it anyways. And if you fall, and if you fail, and if it turns out to be a complete mess, get up, get back up, and then look at the lesson that you learned from that and repeat. My first course that I launched did not sell a single seat. As a coach, it did not sell a single seat. I didn't even have anyone reach out to me about the price. And it was scary for me to launch that first course. So it didn't work out as I was hoping. But I got back up. I realized what I did and didn't do, and I did it again. And it led to a great launch after that. Because if you aren't learning and allowing yourself to fail and to mess up and to make mistakes, you're never going to learn. You're never going to learn. I look at failure as a positive. Because when I fail, that's when I learn the most. Because you better believe I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again. But I wouldn't have known to not do that again if I didn't fall on my face. So it's challenging yourself, falling, knowing that if you fall, it's okay because you can get back up and you can look at the lessons that you learned instead of looking at what you didn't get. And that's how you build your resilience. So one of my favorite authors is Brene Brown, and she talks about in her book, Daring Greatly, about the arena. And so I just want to share another visual with you, because a lot of times we allow judgment of other people to influence which way we go. So if you think about the big Colosseums in Rome, the Colosseum, okay? You are in the arena. You are bloody, you're hurt, you're scared, you're taking the punches, right? You're in the mud, you're falling on your face, you're getting back up, you're falling on your face, you're getting back up, you're falling on your face. And then there's people who fill the seats. You have your spectators, and they're eating their chili corn dogs and their popcorn, and they've got their beer, and they're having a great old time. And they're sitting up there and they're telling you that you suck. You're not doing it right. What are you doing? You're going to embarrass yourself. Get out of there. Get out of there. And that's all we hear. But those people and their corn dogs aren't in that arena with you. They're not getting bloody with you. They're not getting dirty. They're not falling on their face. They're all comfortable in their seats. So does it make much sense to listen to what they're doing, or to listen to what they view you as, or how they view what you're doing? Because there's no comparison. But the people that are in the arena with you, your business besties, your spouse, your coach, whoever's in that arena with you, that's who you listen to, and that's who's going to help you get up. Because they're not going to sit there and they're not going to tell you that you're stupid. Hopefully. They might, but then they don't belong in the arena with you. But it really helped me overcome that fear of judgment of others, especially when I started in network marketing, and my friends and family didn't really understand why, but they weren't doing it with me. They weren't in the arena with me. They were speaking simply from a spectator's view, but I don't want to be a spectator. I want to be the warrior in the arena. So I'm not going to look to them for guidance to get to where I want, the warrior I want to be in the arena, because I want to be with the other warriors getting bloody and bruised and broken. So I hope that helps make sense a little bit. I know it's loud. It's so loud. It's so loud. But if you take anything away from this today, take away the fact that the only opinions that matter or even are worth considering are from those in the arena with you. Another example of this is me stepping in TikTok. I love TikTok. It is my new favorite platform. It's where I feel the most creative. It's where I feel like I can show up the most as myself. It's where I've connected with my type of people. Like, my comfort is in TikTok. And it's not normal for everyone. Not everyone really understands TikTok. So if I'm successful on TikTok, but I'm looking for advice, and I have people judging me on Facebook because I'm on TikTok, do I really care what they say? No, because they're the spectators. They're viewing me in the arena, and I'm doing something that's not comfortable to them. So people who don't know what your truth is, or they aren't in there with you, take their advice with a grain of salt, and don't let their opinion and their voice overshadow yours. So that is it. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to come back and answer them. If you have questions, you can reach out to me directly. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you